Hello and good day. Welcome to Punchline. And don't forget, we are First News Nation. And on Punchline, we discuss national politics and national politics. Today will be a very special interactive with a gentleman who is leading in Enugu State the Datti Presidential Campaign right here in Enugu State as we count down to the 2023 presidential elections. We're going to be discussing with him on the possibilities and what Enugu State will be providing for their presidential candidate in terms of votes come 2023 elections. I am Sammy Ajufo. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. It's still Punchline, and like I said earlier in my introduction, we'll be discussing with a politician of note. He's not just a politician, he is an astute businessman, the chairman of Transportation Express Limited and Ifesinachi Group. Yes, we would love to go into your business side. It would be wonderful, but the purpose of this interview is actually for your politician side, the side of politics. You have been around for quite a while. You've contested elections. You have run for office. You even ran for governorship office at one point.
Yes.
Yes. And then House of Rep, I think, and some other positions.
Yeah.
And now you are leading the P2B Datti campaign here in Enugu State. And before we go into that, everyone knows you as Ide, Prince Emeka Mamah. I want to ask the first question now. You were in PDP, you've been in PDP for all your political career till now. What caused you to leave the PDP and join the Labour Party just a few months ago in August? What happened?
Thank you, Sammy. And thank you once more for bringing me on board. Actually, what made me leave PDP for Labour Party was as a result of the great injustice that exists in the party. There is no equity, there is no fairness, and there is no what I would say, that fairness, for one to actually contest an election, and win that election. It's all about a guided kind of thing, having a particular candidate in mind. Ordinarily, for me being in politics, I'd expected a fair contest. I expected a contest that is of equity, and where justice will be the order of the day at the end of the whole thing. Well, unfortunately, what we saw, personally, I saw in PDP, wasn't what I had expected all this while being in the party. Knowing what I can offer, to the party and even to the country. So that's the main reason why I had to leave. And going back again, I had wanted to have a change of mind at a certain point, but the constitution of the party says that there is zoning. There's that section of the constitution that has a
zoning principle. Yeah.
Yes, and I had expected, and just like so many other people would have expected, that Southeast should have been given this opportunity to, present a candidate.
You're talking about from the national now?
From the national.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And it never happened that way. What we are having now is a northerner being in place as a candidate of the opposition party, okay, which I belonged. And that didn't go down very well with me, because I had expected that since 1999, Southeast had supported this party, and this should be their turn. It's not about our turn, but it is something that it is desired by these people, after following this party since 1999 till date, and there has not been any chance of this party, being at the helm of affairs of this political party for the first time. And that, got me so convinced that this party does not mean well for members and any other person that is interested in politics, that is in PDP. So I had expected that if Southeast had gotten it, what we're experiencing now possibly might not be happening. But it went the other way, and that's why somebody like me will have to move from this political party to the Labour Party.
I've met with other politicians who also say they left because of this same injustice that you talked about. I spoke with Frank Wenke, the ABGA governorship candidate. He said the same thing. A lot of people said, even the governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, he said there's injustice. If there's any point in the future where the PDP, the party you left, decides to change their mind and correct those wrongs, will you return back to the PDP?
Well, it's now too late. We now have a candidate in the person of Mr. Peter Obi, who was a governor of Anambra State. I've listened to him. I've also been following him in all his activities. And he's a man that will tell you something. You go to bed and sleep. He's not somebody whom will continue to deceive and lie to his people. He's somebody I've seen who can actually change the narratives of the day. He's a leader that Nigeria needs at this critical time.
Let's come back to you. When you left PDP and joined Labour, and not too long after, the list of the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council came out, and your name was there. And people said that guy was placed by the current governor of Enugu State, Ifesinachi Group, as a mole to try and, stop things for maybe other candidates that want to try, or just silence opposition parties that might cause a hindrance or a problem in the election going forward. What would you say if someone said you were a mole, that Ugwuanyi's commissioner is now the person who is leading Labour Party in Enugu State?
While we started this interview, you had mentioned my background. I am still the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Ifesinachi Group. And I started IFX Express before any other indigenous courier company in Nigeria. And we've been in operation since 1997. Ifesinachi has been there. My father started that business, which is into passenger carrying and cargo. I don't think at this my age, in fact, the age I am today is an age that is more like a bridge between the young and the old. I've attained the 5th floor. So if I cannot tell myself that simple truth, who is that I'm going to tell? Okay, so I represent a great number of people who has come across me in life, who knows what the character that I am made of. I cannot be a mole at this age. Of what benefit is it going to do to me? Yes, I was a commissioner. I served and I resigned. Ran for an election. That election was not successful. It was killed in favor of one person. And I left in peace. I've moved on. So I cannot be a mole.
What about people who say this is a revenge tactic? You are trying to get back that you lost the election.
People are left with their opinions. People can say so many things. I cannot challenge the opinion of the people. But the thing is that deep down myself, I know what I stand for. And what I stand for is for simple reasons of equity, fairness, and justice. I tend to remain on that path in everything I do. Even the people I've come across in life, who knows me?
Okay, let's come back to the Labour Party movement and Labour Party. People have questioned Labour Party in the early days when Peter Obi moved from PDP to Labour Party. People said that word, structure, that Labour Party has no structure and it is going to be his greatest undoing. He would fail because PDP has a structure, APC has a structure, nationally speaking, and even in Enugu State. Talk to us about the structure of Labour Party to help Peter Obi win the election.
Yeah, a lot of people would have said that, and for me, I view it differently. I like viewing things differently. Peter Obi is the order of the day. There is no political party in this country today, or any person, even across the borders of this country, that don't know who Peter Obi is and what he stands for. All right? So, for one to be talking about structure is just people. All right? The movement we already have across the country is more than culture, is more than a structure. The movement going on in this country is more than the structure that we all know. And I am very happy by the time I was given this coordinatorship of Enugu State for his presidential campaign, because I know I can reduce this movement into polling units. I know how I can do that. I have all my contacts. I have people. So this movement is an added advantage based on this person that is called Peter Obi.
You feel Peter Obi is a market that you can sell without?
He's already a brand. You cannot compare thieves with saints. It's just like Jesus Christ, you know, being crucified. You know, where he was in the middle between two thieves.
So who are the two thieves?
Well, you and I know.
Well, I can't really say who are the thieves. But there are many contestants vying for this position. We're going to come back with questions about how Labour Party is penetrating into the rural areas where older women and men know more about the umbrella and the broom. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're still here with the campaign coordinator for Enugu State for the Datti Presidential Campaign for the forthcoming 2023 general elections, especially for the presidency. Remember, the presidency comes with the House of Assembly, there's the National Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. That will come before the governorship elections, and we have Prince Emeka Mamah here with us. We talked before about the possibilities and the structures. What of when people say that Peter Obi's popularity is based on social media, that everything is Facebook, Twitter, that aside that, if you bring Peter Obi outside with Atiku Abubakar and Bola Tinubu, that Peter Obi doesn't measure up, that this movement is stronger on social media? What would you say to that?
Yes, people can say that. I know, people can say that, and they're not wrong, you know, and if you look at the population of Nigerians that are using these mobile phones, you will see that there are very few countries in the world, you know, that will have access to mobile phones, and we have them in Nigeria. And most of these people are the youths, you know, who always aspire to know what happens across the country, and they're getting information. So the thing, getting to the rural communities is something that is very, very easy, you know, with the presence of these our youths. It's just for them to sell that idea of the logo, where you have the father, the son, and the mother, and it's simple, you know. And majority of these people, just like you know, growing up, during the NNPP days, APN and all that, this mother used to be a logo, all right? And I know how that got into the mindset of the people. The same thing is happening already. You can't tell me today that in my own world, my own polling unit, that we don't have obedient people. We have almost everybody in my community, everybody in my local government, every person in the zone, every person in all the zones, and in Enugu State.
So will you say Enugu is obedient?
Enugu is 100% obedient.
What assurance do you have? Based on the fact that the opposition to you, the APC and PDP, will come with the money. Does Labour Party have the money to meet them pound for pound? Talking about that. Let's leave the we don't give shishi thing. If they present the money to the person at the polling unit, what will Labour Party present as a counter to get the votes of those people?
Well, I've had meetings with more than 1,000 support groups for Peter Obi. It has never happened while, in PDP. All right? And people have left. People with conscience have left the party. All right? And where else did they go? They didn't go any other place other than to Labour Party. All right? Because they know that the person we're talking about is no other person than Peter Obi, who has on several occasions said, go and verify. In all the things he has said in his going about, he has said, go and do what? Verify. And he's doing that personally by himself. Not through an aide, not through a spokesperson, not through by any other person that has interest of monetary inducement. People are following Peter Obi because of the situation that we have found ourselves in today. And that situation will not help any one of us if we don't vote in Peter Obi in the next coming elections.
So let's go back to that thing. Money will play a part. What happens when money shows up? How will the Labour Party push and get the people in the rural areas not to look at the money, but
Sammy, I've told you that people have left the party.
What of the rural women? What of the market women? What of the mothers?
Those people that
the
have
farmers?
Those people that have left this party, all right, have structures themselves.
Okay.
They have people that listen to them. And these are the people that you are referring to. These people is just a simple direction.
So it's a spillover effect.
It's a spillover effect. It's a spillover effect. And this money they are sharing is money that belongs to every one of us. So I'm not telling any person not to collect it. Collect this money and do what? And do the needful. Vote according to your conscience. Not on that inducement, because you are going to be there to suffer it tomorrow if you voted the wrong person. So, and nobody, even those women in the rural areas are hungry. They are also angry. They want a change. They've heard about PDP, umbrella. They've heard about APC, broom. But there is a new narrative. And that new narrative is a Labour Party that has a candidate that will always tell you what, go and verify. So I do not expect any major contest in the 2023 election.
This question is directed to the obedient movement. A lot of people feel the backbone of Peter Obi's campaign is the obedient movement. If you remove the obedient movement, Labour Party is weak. Is this true? Is the obedient movement the foundation, the crucible in which this party is moving? That the Datti campaign is working with the foundation of the Obi movement, and the obedient movement.
This is a time, I don't like that word, change. Because we are witnesses to what change would have cost us in this country. And the movement is all about people that have been, in one way or another, felt very, very bad about the wrong things that are happening in the country. All right? And it's like a support to the interests and aspirations of our candidate. By the time he moved, there was no such thing. And once he moved, people saw in him, believed in him, and started following him. And that's why you're seeing this movement, growing on daily basis. There's no simple, that's just the simple truth about the whole thing.
Do you think people on that day from other political parties will vote him in, and in the governorship election they will vote whoever they want to vote for?
It's possible. It's possible. It's just a clear candidate out of the rest. All right? It's a clear candidate out of the other presidential candidates that we have. All right? Which, for anyone that means well for this country, should give it a trial. All right? I am not seeing Obi as an Igbo man, per se, but he is an Igbo man. Okay? I'm seeing him as somebody of Igbo extraction going to lead Nigeria, to the right direction. Okay, not just an Igbo man who is interested in politics. Yeah, we have gone beyond this.
Okay, final question. 2019 election in Enugu State, the presidency race in Enugu State between then current President Buhari, and now the PDP presidential candidate. He was also PDP presidential candidate 2019. Atiku won with over 300,000 votes. Buhari was able to garner about 50,000 or more. What do you think will change in both figures? What will be the reason for there to be a change in Enugu State, that Atiku would not even have up to 100,000, or Tinubu will not have any vote at all? What do you think will change in 2023?
That change is simple. Southeast have not produced a presidential candidate since 1999. Now they have a presidential candidate who is trusted, who is widely known, who has even traversed across the country, and who is acceptable. So it's going to be a smooth sailing, for his victory.
But a PDP would, despite the issues in PDP, they will still push to get their candidate also to win. So
it's left for their conscience, to also direct them into a candidate of their choice. I said here, it's very clear. You cannot compare light and darkness and expect to get darkness over light. It's not possible. Light is always shining. So if Peter do not take 100% of the votes, maybe it's for those ones that have seen darkness, above light, and who are benefiting from the corrupt practices of the present government.
Wow. All right, so that will be my final question, because we're going to have more conversations as we go forward, especially as the campaigns have started. So Peter Obi is the man to beat in 2023.
He's the man to beat.
In Enugu State, he's the man to beat.
Yes.
And you are putting your word down and saying Enugu is obedient.
Enugu is completely obedient.
On what percentage? Let's be realistic. What percentage? If you want to be realistic, you say, is it 99%, 87%, giving some spaces to other political parties? What figure would you say?
Well, nationally looking, I can tell you that Northeast, Northwest, it's possible our candidate will achieve over 30%. Anything above 25% is very good for him.
Yes.
In other zones, the Southwest, Southeast, South, and the North Central. It's clear that it's going to get over 80%.
Okay, we'll watch and see how that goes around. This is a conversation with the national coordinator in charge of Enugu. That's what I would say. You are the coordinator in charge of Enugu for the P2B Datti campaign come 2023 under the Labour Party, and that is Prince Emeka Mamah. We'll be having more conversations with him. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll be having more conversations, like I said, and watching to see how the elections go, the campaigns go. We'll be following Labour Party and other parties and speaking with other stakeholders as well. It's a pleasure having you. I am Sammy Ajufo. Thanks to the production crew. Let's see you again for the next episode. Have a wonderful day ahead.